Okay, I'm back, everyone. Sorry, I had to take a little comfort break there. All these, as you know, I love my liquids and what have you. Anyway, right, so back to talking about Mexico. So, move my chair a little bit. Pardon me. So, yes, there's that intensity. Yeah, the eclipse happened here in the first house, in the body of Mexico, which contains Saturn and contains Neptune. Yeah, so this was intense, profound. A lot of people, political people, are being killed, yeah, assassinated. Seventh house, this is where the next eclipse is happening, in the seventh house in sidereal Taurus for Mexico. And so this involves the ninth lord, which is what? Politics. 10th lord, world standing. It involves the 11th lord, which again is people, yeah, people, rubbing shoulders. And it also involves the second lord and fifth lord, the natal one, which is here. The second lord and fifth lord is Jupiter, yeah. And Jupiter again is also a planet of politics, and it involves the eighth lord. So who is the eighth lord and the 11th lord? Mercury. You're seeing the theme here because the Mercury is involved in all and Mercury is involved in this solar eclipse. So that means whatever houses Mercury rules in a nation's chart, they will be activated. It will be relevant. And if we look here, the 11th house is in Virgo, yeah? Falls under Mercury. And there it contains the sun, which is the divine spark, the homeland in a way. It involves Rahu, gobble gobble. Now Rahu also can deal with deceit, smoke and deceit, yeah, and insatiable desires. And in here is Mercury natally, yeah, and the eclipse transiting Mercury is up here where the eclipse is. So this is very much to do with who is going to help the people, yeah, the collective in Mexico, but also as well Mexico's relationships with the outside world. Yeah, people are going to be looking at this because the 10th lord here is the sun, yeah, and that's to do with public standing, and the ninth lord is the moon, which deals again with politics. As I was saying, Rahu is here exaggerating things, and Mercury is the 8th lord and the 11th lord. So what I've put here, those that communicate truth are endangered. Yeah, because Mercury is what? The planet of communication. People have just been going up saying, well, we're against what? The cartels, yeah? Which would deal with what? All types of people, yeah? Because when it comes to drugs and stuff, you've got to sell to what? All types of people. You know, people sniff certain substances all around the world, don't they? So there's this internationalism there as well. Otherwise there wouldn't be any cartels, yeah, because there'd be no one to sell to, yeah. So here it's involved on their natal Jupiter. So really Jupiter ruling the natural ruler of Pisces and the natural ruler of Sagittarius, which of course deal with faith and religion, yeah, and politics. So this really, the eclipse is actually happening on the politics planet for Mexico, yeah, and the whole world is looking on as these things evolve. So the seventh house also deals with relationships. It also deals with business and trade and open enemies. So really all of this stuff going on in Mexico right now is about how are we interacting with the outside world? How are we dealing with the peoples and what they require? Yeah, because also as well, when it comes to things like drugs and stuff like that, it is an international trade, is it not? Not that I'm justifying that, I'm just describing the energy. Yeah, we can see where the energy is manifesting, yeah, and it's here. So it's in Mexico's first house, its sense of identity and its relationship with the outside world in regards to politics and things like drugs, yeah, Neptune, but also as well trade as well. This is a time where Mexico, if it can come out of this, really needs to focus on its trade. You know, obviously there's issues with drugs and stuff, but if it can focus on its trade, business partnerships, and try and pull itself out of this cycle of death and poverty, drugs and destruction, this could be an incredible time of transformation for Mexico, because this is happening in the 1-7 axis, the personal axis. So again, prayers out to Mexico. I really hope the bloodshed will stop and that they can get governments in place that are actually going to help the situation and help the people. Okay. Next country. Yeah. China. Here we go. So here's China's chart that I drew up from quite a ways back. But as you can see, I've drawn in the current transits and what's going on now. China, fascinating nation. Yeah. Fascinating nation. And as we know, this is very politically charged right now. There are lots of transformations in the pipe works, lots of things changing, you know, for China and the world. And I don't want this to become too intense. What we always need to remember is that the politics of China is not necessarily the people. Likewise, as well, for at least a significant portion of America as well. But, you know, America's in a different place because certain surveys have shown that, you know, 50%, more than 50% of people believe in some strange stuff. But anyway, this is China. So what is being involved here? So again, this is a 5-11 axis. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, this 5-11 axis keeps turning up. Now, China, it's a nation in its current form on the 1st of October 1949. Yeah, at 1515. Yeah, I think there's a big speech that was given. And what's involved here? So this is when China became its modern form, what it is today. Yeah, what it is today. Now, it's very interesting what's going on with China's chart. So I'm just going to read back over my notes here from when I originally did this chart. So I put here, Mercury exalted in China's chart, showing the exceptional intelligence of the Chinese. Yeah, very, very intelligent nation. With the sun showing the amazing ability of the state to collect information. Yeah, because here, Mercury exalted is with the sun, but look, it's also with Ketu and Neptune. Yeah, remember what's Neptune? Neptune can also be the planet of pandemics and disease. Yeah. So what else did I put here? However, Mercury is retrograde and conjunct Neptune, the planet of disease. Here we are. Remember, I wrote these notes a long time ago. And Ketu is the node of pandemics. So and it sits in the 9th house of laws, internationalism. Yeah, laws and internationalism again, because the 9th house deals with international things and laws and politics. And aspects the 3rd house of travel. Yeah, aspects the 3rd house of travel, commerce and business. So so here it looks here, we can see how the coronavirus has affected the whole world. Yeah, because look, it's on this 3-9 axis, which is the axis of travel. Yeah, internationalism. So here we are. It's affected the whole world via coronavirus. So Saturn, Lord of the 1st and 2nd in the 8th house of death and transformation. Yeah. So that's some pretty good notes I made there. So when China was born, it's actually a Capricorn nation. Yeah, Capricorn. And look, Moon in the 1st house. But whenever I see this in clients' charts, there's always an issue. Yeah, the moon does not do well in Capricorn. Yeah, it's not its natural place. It belongs to its enemy, Saturn. Yeah, they say the moon has no enemies, so she tries to adapt to wherever she is. But Saturn, it sees the moon as an enemy. Yeah, so what it can do is it can do a lot with withholding. Yeah, and it deals with, and the moon is supposed to be flexible, smooth, yeah, like an orb, rolling and adapting. Yeah, this is why the moon does very well in Gemini, for example, because Gemini is a very adaptable sign. The moon can adapt to anything. When she's in Capricorn, she becomes restricted, yeah, and controlled. Yeah, there is the moon can't quite be itself. Yeah. So, I mean, and that can manifest in terms of being reserved. Yeah. The Chinese is a very reserved nation overall. It's quite conservative, and it's not about big displays of public affection. Yeah. I know that's a generalization, but we just know this just to be culturally true of China as a whole. Yeah. Remember, this is the nation. There's vast variation within the population, of course, as you would expect. Now, so we've had the eclipse, lunar eclipse, fall in the 11th house, which again is what? Internationalism, other people, the world, yeah? People of the world. So there's these revelations, people starting to ask questions again about the coronavirus and how it's affected the people of the world. Joe Biden has done what? Instigated another investigation. Not instigated another, I mean, like, well, this would be technically another one, but he wants to get what? To the truth. What is Joe Biden? He is a double Scorpio, yeah? And here, it's happening in China's 11th house of other people from the outside world, yeah? So this is also Biden being an eclipse for them in some way. And then it's in the 5th house, which deals with what? Creativity, children. It also deals with true intelligence. It deals with consultations and advice. It deals with speculation, yeah, and sports. And it also deals with kings and politics as well, yeah. So it shows there's quite a lot of political stuff going on in China, which we know already. But the eclipse will fall here. And what lords does it involve? It involves the 7th house lord, which is the moon, of course. It involves the 8th house lord, which is the sun, yeah? Which is the sun for a Capricorn ascendant person or nation. And it involves the 9th house lord, which is what? Politics, like I said, internationalism. And it involves the 6th house lord, which is health, yeah? Guess who is lord of both? Mercury. Here it is, the eclipse is going to fall on that. So the planet of beliefs, politics, and health in China's chart is conjunct Neptune natally, yeah? Transiting Mercury, natal Mercury, conjunct Neptune, the planet of disease and pandemics, yeah? Also with Ketu, which deals with pandemics, in the 9th house of internationalism, yeah, and travel, on this axis of 3-9, which is about information, yeah? So what's going on here? So now what's going to happen? This eclipse, yeah, when it comes here, is going to be highlighting the 6th lord and the 9th lord, politics and health. Something is going to emerge. It's also, and this is, remember, the 10th of June. This is when this is happening, 10th of June. The 10th of June is also the same date in America's chart where Jupiter is going to be right on top of the natal moon of America. There's going to be some disclosure, yeah? Some big things are going to happen in the next few weeks. So we're going to find out more, yeah? We're going to find out more. And we'll just have to see what comes out in the wash. But whatever it is, it could be big because this is a solar eclipse. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least, America. Yeah? Oh man, this is just... this is a lot. This is a lot. Yeah? This is a lot. Okay, where are these eclipses happening? They are happening in the 12-6 axis, yeah, for America, 12-6. So the lunar eclipse has just happened here. So what is the 12th house? Hidden enemies, yeah, and secret attacks, yeah? What's the 12th house deal with? Escape and endings, again, rest, deep research, loss, foreign lands, secrets, Imagination, holidays, overseas confusion, hospitals, prisons, secret affairs, expenses, loss, hidden enemies. Yeah? And when you think about it, it also deals with confusion. Yeah, it can also deal with confusion. What has been happening in the United States recently? Yeah? Conspiracy theories, hidden attacks, hidden enemies. Yeah, there's been what? Cyber attacks, all this stuff. You got the QAnon, because remember, look, this is happening in Scorpio, which is about what? Conspiracy theories. Yeah. Scorpio's brilliant for many things. Scorpio can also deal with transcendence and transformation, but it is known as a sign of insecurity for a reason. Yeah, this is where the conspiracy theories take hold. Now, something that emerged, there was a recent survey which stated that apparently Americans overstate their ability to be able to sort out fake news from real news. Yeah, what's been happening? The big lie. Yeah, there's so much going on. And again, I wish I'd got my notes. I really, do you know what? I'm going to pause and I'm going to find these notes because we really need them. 1 minute. All right, folks, I found my notes. They were hidden behind a curtain. Honestly, sometimes it's not good to tidy up, because, you think you're being smart about things and then you're like, oh, I put this in a safe place, and that safe place, you can barely find it. Anyway, so here we are. I made quite a few notes here, not all on America, but this section mainly. So this is what needs to be discussed here. So, okay, let's start with the 10th of June. When the solar eclipse happens, also happens to be the day, let me just double check, when Jupiter, when Jupiter is going to station around about 8 degrees of sidereal Aquarius, sidereal Aquarius. And this is very significant because that is where America's moon is. America's moon. In fact, let me just get up America's natal chart, so we can see really what's going on here. Let me just swap this around a bit. I have to do all these map swaps. Okay, so this one, folks, we know quite well, don't we? We've seen this quite a lot over time. Now, what I need you to look at is here. America's moon. It is at 7 degrees 26 minutes, Jupiter will be stationing on the eclipse on top of America's natal moon. Now, what does the moon represent? Represents the mind, represents the homeland, represents the concept, or it represents the emotions, our instinctive responses to things, how we go about our instinctive habits, represents gatherings of all kinds. The moon is very important. But what we need to also understand as well is that this moon is isolated, There's no embodied planet here, because this is Ketu, which is the node of the moon, but it's a shadow planet. Pluto is here, but it's very far away. It doesn't really count as company. And it's not necessarily the kind of company that you would want with the moon anyway. But there's no planet here either, only Chiron. And here, with the moon, is Ceres, but that doesn't count as company either. But remember what I was talking about with Ceres? Can also deal with like abducted children in some kind of way, or children that are lost. So here, this is technically a chemodrama moon. When the moon is isolated, the moon is the most soft and sensitive planet. When it's isolated, it can crack, The moon is said to crack. And if you look here, but thankfully there is a little bit of help here from Jupiter, but it's only one aspect, It's only one aspect. So it means the mind, the collective unconscious of America is vulnerable. Yeah, it's just vulnerable. This is just, all I'm doing is describing the energy. The collective mind of America is vulnerable. Yeah, but why? It's not only because this moon is isolated, the moon also is what? The 8th house lord. So if we look here, here's America, Sagittarius nation. Yeah, so we're going by July 4th, 1776, around about 6:30 p.m. Philadelphia. Yeah, so if we count round, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The moon is the lord of the 8th house, and she's in the 3rd house of what? Communications, media, skills. We know what the 8th house is, this house of sex, death, and rock and roll. Yeah, hidden things, secrets. In the 8th house, we have Rahu, gobble, gobble. With Mercury, planet of communication. Mercury is retrograde, going backwards. Yeah, which intensifies that Mercury a bit as well, but it means that planet is more subterranean. And because he's with a malefic, Rahu, this makes this Mercury malefic. So what does this mean? Malefic communications. Now, I've said this before, but this is a while ago in my videos. Malefic communications, yeah? Sound familiar? And it's happening in the 8th house, in the sign of Cancer. And the sign of Cancer represents what? The homeland, the nation, the heart. Malefic communications are happening in the heart of America via certain suspect elements of the media. Yeah? Look what has been going on. Yeah, look what's been going on. All of this craziness. Yeah, because what's the 8th house is relative to what? The 8th sign, Scorpio. What is Scorpio about on certain levels? Conspiracy theories. But this is conspiracy theories off the chart, because here Mercury doesn't do so well in water signs. Why? Because the water signs are emotional. Yeah. And when planet Mercury is a planet of logic, he does well in the earth signs and the air signs. Here he can get a lot of work done. Air signs are about the intellectualism. Earth signs are about practicality. Yeah. But when he goes into a water sign, the emotions overtake rational thoughts. Yeah. I'll say that once more. When Mercury is in a water sign, but particularly Cancer as well, the emotions overtake rational thoughts. And here he is malefic, cruel. Yeah? And the moon is the 8th house ruler. So the moon is the dispositor for these two planets. And the moon is here in Aquarius, which belongs to Saturn, who is an enemy to the moon. Yeah? And this also here, the moon is in the nakshatra of Shatabishak, which means the sign of 1,000 healers, but it deals with difficult conditions that are difficult to cure. Many people who have their moon here struggle with addictions, or their family around them struggle with addictions, but also mental conditions. Because if you break a leg, you put in the splint and it will heal in about 3 months or what have you. But what if your mind is affected? Yeah? Remember, the moon is the mind. The mind is affected here by addictions, by illnesses. Yeah? America's not well at the moment. We all know this. And it's not a criticism that, necessarily to say it, because we can all see it. Look what's going on. The big lie. Just recently, I think it was 100 academics were talking about them fearing for democracy in America. What they're saying, you've had George Flynn. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. George Flynn, who is basically, I'm basically going to call him Fascist Flynn, because really that's what he is. So he is basically saying that there should be a coup in America. He said, look at Myanmar. That's what we need here. Huh? Really? Is this where it's going? Is this where it's going? This is cra, not even cray, because to put the Y there is just too polite. This is cra. Yeah, this is really serious kind of stuff. So also as well, we have the voting issues. Yeah, suppression, the voter suppression and basic naked racism in Texas. Yeah, Texas, the Democrats have managed to stave it off for now, but they're basically trying to repress the vote. And they're also doing similar things in Georgia. Yeah. And it's just, it's just remarkable, some of the stuff that's also going on. So what axis is this happening in? Like I said, this is happening in the 12-6 axis. And if we look here, the eclipse, the solar eclipse is going to happen on this Uranus. And Uranus is what? Sudden shocks and surprises. Yeah, it's about liberation. It's about being a rebel. Yeah. So could we have a scenario where maybe Texas declares we want to be independent? Something like that. Or are we also going to get some disclosure around health? Yes, sixth house is also health. So we need to look at that. Here, which lords are involved? So we have the 8th lord, the moon, involved in this eclipse. We have the 9th lord involved. 9th lord is again what? Politics, yeah, involved in this eclipse. And we have Mercury involved, who is the lord of the 7th house, of the outside world, anyone that's not us, trade, etc. And it's the lord of the 10th house. Yeah, so if we look here, this is the 10th house, the USA chart, that's the 7th house. Look at all these planets here, and this is where the eclipse is happening. Yeah, it's happening in this axis here, which is the 12-6 axis. So here, America is under a lot of strain, and I would say, I don't want to scare people too much, but a lot of threats, yeah, because the eclipse is happening in the 6th house, which also deals with what? Enemies, but it also deals with litigation, yeah, enemies, litigation, conflicts. So if we look here, if we just put this back down and then we just go to the house meanings. So if we look here at the house meanings, 6th house, yeah, what does this deal with? This is where the eclipse is happening for America. Deals with health and overcoming obstacles, deals with divorce, deals with pets, lawsuits, practical skills, debts, food and diet, accidents, thieves, yeah, thieves, crooks, enemies, challenging competition. Also deals with police and military. What's George Flynn? Ex-general. Yeah, military. But it can also deal with coaching, healing, therapies, routines, repetitive tasks, practical skills. But it also deals with the house. It also deals with saints and sinners. Yeah, and it also deals with hotels and restaurants. Yeah, the country's opening back up. But when we look here, so we see this is a very challenging time. Very challenging time. There is an awful lot going on. And also as well, there's been some speculation too about the health of Joe Biden, as some of you would have seen. And I can understand why this is happening, but I'll have to do a Joe Biden special later on. But there are things that are looking there, like might be issues with his health, particularly kind of coming up later on in June and stuff like that. And let's not forget too, this lunar eclipse also happened on his 1st house, yeah, which is also to do with the body. So we'll look into that. But otherwise this video will be too long. So look, we see here all of this stuff is going on. Now I have written this blog, which a blog a while ago now. It might have been January 2020 or November or December 2020, something like that, where I worried about the future of America and where I actually predicted cyber attacks. Yeah, I predicted cyber attacks, and I'm worried. One of the things I'm worried about is that these cyber attacks will increase and maybe even possibly go nuclear. Now listen, I'm going to just go out there. If these cyber attacks are not curbed And if the Biden administration is not able to quash these things, I can see a situation where maybe even something like a nuclear power station or something like that could be held hostage, used as ransom, yeah, in some kind of way, because that's what's been happening already. Do you remember there was the thing with the gas plants? There was some other attack, and what was there? Extortion. Yeah, there was extortion. 12th house, hidden enemies. 6th house, enemies. Extorting money, holding things for ransom. What if they get hold of a nuclear power station? Then what? Yeah, something like that. I know this is all, but it's so intense at the moment. So, but I'm just describing the energy, yeah, the energy. So we've got this axis in the USA chart, yeah, in the USA chart. We've got this axis, 12-6 axis playing out. This is also as well, because look, Uranus as well is unconventional people, yeah? But it can also deal with eccentrics and people that are odd and strange, yeah? What's been going on? Uranus is the planet of rebellion, yeah? The eclipse on the 10th is going to be happening here in the 6th house. What has Flynn been talking about? Insurrection, rebellion, yeah? She's been talking about a coup. This is sedition. This is sedition happening from one of the most senior people that you can find in terms of USA army and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is someone who used to be an advisor to the president. This is when they had that big bust up argument, yeah, where they put that forward. This is sedition. So there's a lot of danger here in this axis, and I wish I could be more positive about it, but I must talk about the truth of the energy, because we all know this is happening in front of our eyes. So the Democrats and independents, really, you have to fight, yeah? Fight. 6th house is about conflicts, yeah? 12th house is about enemies, yeah? Hidden enemies, the enemies within. Moderate people must fight the enemies within in the nation, because they are getting, they're trying to do something big, yeah? They're trying to change the laws. They're trying to overthrow, yes? Uranus is about overthrowing, upsetting the apple cart, yeah? You could even have maybe Texas try and declare independence at some point. It's something I know that the governor wants. We'll have to see if this happens or not, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. So what can we do about this? Again, this is about activism, getting in touch with local politicians, MPs or whatever, trying to arrange things to overthrow this attempted coup. Trump is now saying that he expects to be reinstated by August of this year. So things are hotting up. I know it's kind of cray-cray, but of course it's all happening where? In politics, yeah? This is where it's all happening. Saturn, yeah? With Pluto, with K2, transiting Saturn with Pluto and K2 in the 2nd house of values in the USA chart, yeah? So we see this is really... this is a big deal. This is a big deal. We are in times where the future of the world is being decided. However, this is also a great time for spirituality, going within, but without spiritual bypassing. This is about trying to hold the highest light, yeah, for everyone, to envision a great future, to envision the forces of light winning over darkness in this very challenging time. This is what these eclipses are urging us to do. There's going to be disclosure of all sorts. We're going to find out lots of different things. We're even going to find out some stuff about aliens, yeah? I know certain astrologers have been mentioning that, but actually, you know what? Got a good point, because Jupiter is going to be sitting on top of the moon like this for it's 18 days. 18 days. Jupiter is going to station on the USA's natal moon from the 10th of June, which is when the solar eclipse happens, things coming out of the shadows about the homeland. This could be a massive disclosure. It's not just going to be about, this might be when as well, when you could have that faux audit, that kangaroo audit in Arizona might declare something. We could have the military talking about, aliens, or it's going to be disclosure after disclosure after disclosure. We're going to be spinning, yeah? But such is life. We are here, we're humanity, we're on planet Earth right now, and we all have this opportunity to contribute and respond. We have to somehow lance the boil and drain the poison, yeah? Drain the negative side of Scorpio, yeah? That comes out, because let's not forget, where's Donald Trump's chart? Let's see, there we are, with old Trumpy Trump, Duck L'Orange. Remember, the eclipse has happened on his moon, yeah? And it's also happened on Biden's ascendant as well, and sun. So this is a big deal for Biden and Trump as they go into this battle, yeah? And we've seen what's been happening with Ivanka and stuff like that, but this really is the battle between what? Two leaders. And Trump is no longer the president, but he is a what? He's a cult leader. Let's not forget, this moon falls right on top of that star placement of Ophiuchus, which is the serpent priest, and the shadow of the serpent priest is the cult leader, yeah? The cult of personality. We see it, yeah? This is what the truth is all about. You've had all these kind of people like, oh, the truth is coming out. Yes, it is here for us to see. The truth is Trump is a cult leader. The truth is that the Republican Party has essentially been infiltrated by a fascist cult. That's basically what the truth is, and it's playing out in front of our eyes. And the way they're keeping everyone under the spell is with the big lie, yeah? So this is what's happening. According to one survey, 53% of American people do not believe that Trump is the legitimate president. Oh my God. Yeah? Wow. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to fight for here. But this is where one has to go within. Scorpio is about going within, pulling that spirituality out. This is about a time of alchemy, transformation, trying to go to the ultimate spiritual truth. This is not about bypassing either. We can't just switch off the news and just go like that, yeah? No. We can't let it get us down too much either, but we must bear witness and we must elevate. We must pray. And, those of you that are using your crystal work, your tarot, the intuition, of course, you've seen us all of us light workers are working very hard to what? Illuminate. Yeah. So I just wanted to show these are some of the themes of what's going on. I know this video is a little bit longer, but, I did have to cover a lot of nations. And let's see what happens. Much to come out. These are going to be times to remember. Like I said before, we're going to look back at the early 2020s and we're going to be like, wow, yeah, and beyond, this whole decade, in fact. So this isn't an ending. In many ways, it's a beginning. Pluto is here in sidereal Capricorn, churning up things, transforming things for governments around the world. But first, what is happening? We're having to face the ugliness, the dark side of some of the motivations of what is going on. However, this is also a great time for transformation, for spirituality and transcendence, and going beyond the normal realms of human life. This is also a time where people can find their superpowers and find out truly what they're here on Earth for. So, with that, I'm going to finish. Thank you so much for watching. A bit of a longer video, but whatever. I had to cover a lot of ground. And if you would like a consultation with me, of course, please visit my website, which is the archetypalblueprint.com. I will be going on holiday in Portugal soon, in June. I hope it all happens, assuming that the eclipse doesn't basically put the kibosh on that for the UK. If I do get to Portugal, you're going to get videos from me. I'm going to do my videos from Portugal. Of course, I won't be doing any readings because I'm going to leave my laptop at home, my printer at home, everything like that. I will take my tarot cards with me though, so when I'm away, I might just blend in a bit of tarot and stuff like that. So if you do want to book, maybe ideally would be after June, or when I'm back. I'm going to be back in July, early July, around about 6th, 7th of July. So if you want to book after for that as well, you're more than welcome. Not due to leave possibly until like the 21st, but we'll have to see. But I'm also just enjoying a little bit of rest as well. It's been so busy. And I will also start looking into producing courses and stuff like that. I know you guys have been wanting that as well. And of course, I need to finish this dastardly book, that I wrote ages ago, especially but things have been happening so quickly. So I'll just have to see what happens with that book. But I will leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to the new subscribers. Welcome if you're a new subscriber as well. I've been so enjoying the stuff, with Ganga, and of course with Diane's tarot and Marie's table. What amazing women they are. So you should see me back there again on Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to that. And blessings to everyone. I know this is intense, but sidereal astrology, you can see, describes what's actually happening, the energies at work in the world in a literal sense. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much. Much love to everyone. It's been wonderful. And my next video will be about the eclipses for all signs, and where it's actually happening for you in your chart. And I'll probably do that in the next couple of days or something like that. We'll see how it goes. All right. Thank you, everyone, and see you soon.